Hey, all right, let's go ahead. Let's get the elephant in the room out of the way right here, right now. I'm not the guy from Pawn Stars. So I do want to thank you guys for coming out here and supporting the Armed Services Arts Partnership Stand-Up Comedy Graduation Bootcamp. For the last 6 weeks, our students have been busting their butts, getting a lot of criticism and harsh truths thrown at them to forge their sets into outstanding comic material. So make sure we are supporting them and just engaging them with laughter, because they have really worked their hearts out to get up here on stage. You know, when you talk to a veteran and ask them about what their life was in the military, like, well, I used to skydive into combat zones on top of missile silos to defuse a nuclear warhead. And you're like, hey man, that's awesome. You want to do stand-up comedy? Oh God, I couldn't do that. That's terrifying. So it is good to come out here and have some laughs with you guys. I got in trouble this week at work because apparently I offended a coworker. Now Becca, our receptionist, informed me she's expecting a child in 6 weeks. I said, Becca, that's awesome. You're going to make a great mom. You look absolutely radiant with that baby bump. Turns out she's adopting. I have to take sensitivity class on Monday. So my wife and I, we are celebrating our 25th anniversary this year. Thank you. And to celebrate, we have a whitewater rafting and camping trip planned for 1 week in the summer. And that's kept confusing our entire family because she can't sleep outside at night because she's terrified of bears, and I can't swim. So to help her out, I got her a weighted blanket. To help me out, she bought me a weighted life jacket. And you're looking at me, you're currently thinking, Ryan, you're a trophy husband. What are some tips you might have for a happy marriage? I got 3 rules. Rule number 1, you got to keep dating even after marriage. Like last weekend, I took my wife downtown. There's this burger restaurant. They're really rude to you all the time. The stupid paper hats. What's the name of that place? Steak and Shake. Thank you. Then we went axe throwing. Super fun. Absolutely worth the band from Home Depot. All right. You guys better let better than that for our students. That's all I'm saying. Oh, man. Rule number 2. You got to be a good listener. Like me. Like along with you guys, my wife's going to go into her bedroom. She's going to find 40 folded paper swans on her pillow. Because I'm a listener. And I've heard her complain for years. I never give her multiple origamis in the bedroom. Rule number 3, you gotta keep having fun. Do little silly things like have nicknames for each other. My wife's name is Kelly. You know what my nickname for her is? Kelly Bean. Is that not totally adorable? You know what her nickname for me is? The McDonald's ice cream machine, because I'm always broke. Now, we have 3 kids, all girls, and Sydney is graduating from Indiana University next week. Yeah, bad news is she has $75,000 in debt. Good news is we never filed a missing persons report. There's been a few missing disappearances that occurred down there, primarily the men's basketball program. There's the people ask me, how did Sydney decide to go to IU? Because she got it down to 3 schools. Indiana University, home of the Hoosiers, Purdue University, home of the Boilermakers, and my alma mater, the Ivy Tech Community College. Home of the teen moms. Yeah. So I took her to an IU versus Purdue basketball game to help her figure things out. And she heard the IU alumni chanting, Hoosier. She thought that was cool. Then she heard the Purdue alumni chanting, Boiler up! Not so great. But then she heard my alumni chanting, popcorn, peanuts, cold beer. Meth, popcorn, peanuts, cold beer. Fentanyl. Then we have Paige. She's my middle daughter. She learned how to drive recently. That did not go well. I spent 4 years in the military. I got out, no mental issues whatsoever. I spent 5 minutes in a Nissan Sentra with Paige May and I wound up with PTSD. To this day, I can't look at a trash can on the side of the road without pissing in my pants. She hit a few things, like a mailboxes, parked cars. I see her aquatics class at the YMCA. She's dating somebody now, which means I gotta meet this little jerk. Found out he gave her a little something that he wanted her to put on and take pictures of herself with. And I sat her down and said, honey, you go to the same high school that your mother teaches at, and boys will be boys, and that picture will get around. And so help me, if your mom's coworkers see a photo of you in a Dallas Cowboys jersey, the shame of it all. And then we have Riley. She's still my baby girl. She's still my kid at heart. The other day she comes up to me and she says, Daddy, will you play princesses with me? I can't tell her no. So I made her clean the house while I took her sisters to a party. It's better than last time I took her to the woods and pumped her full of NyQuil. The other time when she got head lice, I just up in the tower. Yeah, anyway. So I'm 52 now. No, we don't clap for that. No, that is 40 was bad, 50 was the worst. I got to do all kinds of doctor's appointments now, like my blood sugar and A1C's off the charts. Got diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. He told me to go to a website called diabetes.org. The first thing that came up was a window that said, do you accept cookies? Why do you think we're here at diabetes.org? Oh, man. Had to get a colonoscopy, and the proctologist's office was way out of date. He had dial-up internet, used paper records, and the camera said Polaroid. They found a polyp and took a picture, and a piece of paper came out of my butt. Laying on the table, just trying to develop for him. Anyway, being 50 is not all that bad. Like now I get to use a thing called Viagra, and which is nice, except for some of the side effects that are not great, like the mind-splitting migraines. It's not on the box, but for some reason, every time I take a Viagra, she gets one. Oh, man. But you know what turning 50 also means? I get to use a product called Cologuard. You know what Cologuard means? It means I get shit in a box. And I get to mail it to somebody. Finally! When I was 23, I did that. It's a felony. It's a great way to break up with your girlfriend, but it is a felony. Now I'm 50, it's a cautionary procedure. If you've had a bad day at work, boss is ragging you, just remember this. There's somebody that works at receiving in Cologuard. Anyway. So I was in the military. I served in the Army from 92 through 96. I thank you. And I would make a brave decision for the exact same reason that my grandfather and my father before me did, to avoid prison. And historically speaking, we've seen some of the U.S. military's most awful places, like my grandfather saw Nazi Germany. My dad witnessed the atrocities of Vietnam, and I was in a bombed out, wasteland void of human intellect, New Jersey. Went to basic training. When we got out of basic training, when we graduated, we got nicknames based on our specialties. For example, my best friend, Chris Mitchell. On the firing range, he was a perfect 30 for 30, all headshots between the eyes. They nicknamed him Brain Buster and made him I accidentally hit the off button. Sorry, Nick. And you guys are like, what? What did they name you? Brain Buster. And they sent him to sniper school. That's pretty cool. Then Tom McLean, he was an expert at hand-to-hand combat and explosive ordnance. They nicknamed him the Human Fragnado and sent him to ordnance school. I was fat and slow. They nicknamed me Decoy. Maybe a mine detector, not like beep, 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 but So we moved here from Illinois to Indianapolis in 1980, and there was a day I'd been out getting a haircut with my mom, and I came home, and it's 3 o'clock. My dad had fallen asleep on the floor watching the Cubs game, but Woody Woodpecker was on. You guys remember Woody Woodpecker? Yeah! Love Woody Woodpecker. We did not have that in DeSoto, Illinois, so I wanted to watch Woody Woodpecker, so I snuck ever so slightly over him, and I went up to turn the channel. And for those of you over the age of 50, you guys remember this, but the TVs back in the day did not have a remote control. They had 2 dials. One that said 2 through the letter U, and another one said 13 through 2,999. And Woody Woodpecker was on 1,757. And also, when you turn the channels really fast, it made the exact same sound as an AK-47, which when you have a Vietnam veteran sleeping on the floor with PTSD, is not a good combination, because we heard the sound of his enemy's weapon going off. He sat up, looked at me, glass guy, went, "Charlie!" And he punched me right in the face. When I woke up, Woody Woodpecker was over, the Cubs had lost, and my eye had swollen shut. And that is how the Vietnam War ruined my first grade photos.